Best of 3 matchup. We have Hitman versus Deuce. Game 1. It's going to be on Amazonia. All right, and in the top right, we do have Hitman. Last time we saw him, he was playing a Night Elf opponent, and he went Blade Master. And Deuce, who we have yet to see compete in this tournament ourselves. He has competed in the tournament many times, and a couple games earlier today. We have Deuce on the bottom left, and Deuce's path to get here. He beat Sheik, an XL3 OSK, whoever that is. And Hitman had a bye in round 1 and then took down Fear. We saw that game earlier. That was our Night Elf opponent. And is now up against Deuce in the quarterfinals. He's going to go Death Knight first. Meanwhile, Blade Master from Hitman. Hitman really loves the Blade Master style and even said it himself in an interview, I believe, that when he wins with Farseer Headhunters, he just doesn't feel anything. But sometimes, if it is the best strategy against your opponent, gotta do it. Gotta do it. But Hitman's so effective with the Blade Master at all stages in the game. Opts to go for it quite frequently. Acolyte getting some claws dug into the back of the peon here. Just gonna go right back to work. No big deal. Blade Master is out. Deuce knows what's coming, although he already knew it based on the build here. Blade Master gonna go pick up the items he needs out of the shop. Gonna go sell the TP, buy the circlet, and head on down.
A player's forces are under attack.
Meanwhile, Deuce gonna go take down the Berserker, much like Hitman is going to. Both of them are gonna go for the first items. Item 1 going to be Tome of Strength, and Cloak of Shadows for Deuce. Meanwhile, Hitman also gonna get the Cloak of Shadows. Not the best item you're hoping for out of your first camps. But it's unfortunately the hand you're dealt. Hitman gonna return back to the shop. Buy a couple heal salves, scroll speed potentially now.
A player's forces are under attack.
Acolyte gonna go get that camp started. Bought the salves, scroll speed. Sold the cloak. King Deuce down here. Grunt is here to start disrupting. Maybe even get an Acolyte kill, but instead going to turn his attention to the Skeleton Warriors, who all fall simultaneously. Due to the timer running out, Blade Master now down at the southernmost camp. Be able to snipe one of those creeps as well. One more creep kill is going to be level 2 for the Blade Master. Going to get him that critical strike he's looking for. And Clastomania, thank you for the sub and support. Appreciate it. Enjoy the best of 3 series. Deuce versus Hitman. ESL Cup America is number 85. Some back and forth. The dancing has begun. 1 step, 2 step. Who's going to blink first? Looks like Hitman is decided to engage. Get some slices out on the Skeleton Warriors here. Grunt opting to whittle down the Apprentice Wizard. Will be finished off by the Blade Master. Got the level 2 he was looking for. Critical strike now on the way. Going to be denied by one of the auto attacks of the Crypt Fiend. These two players know each other so well, know their styles. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to who makes the fewest mistakes. Some more stutter step from the Blade Master here. Some attack animation canceling, trying to get as much movement speed as possible. Cover as much distance. Nice critical strike onto the Crypt Fiend there. Does take down one of the Skeleton Warriors. Going to get a little bit of XP for the Blade Master. Meanwhile, back at the base.
Players' forces are under attack.
Tier 3 on the way. Shadowhunter, as expected. coming out second. Such a strong support hero, the Shadow Hunter. Tier 2 online for Deuce as well. No Tier 2 buildings in production yet, but the Lich is on the way. Gonna be able to steal one of the creeps again. Hitman coming out of Windwalk. So deadly with those creep snipes. Hitman decides to back off. Expect to see the Grunt Shadow Hunter creep route again, much like our first series against Fear. Likes to constantly keep an eye on his opponent, steal as many creeps as he can with the Blade Master, while creeping up the Shadow Hunter with the Grunts around the rest of the map. Really effective way to split creep. Have your opponent do all the hard work, snipe as many of the creeps as you can. Meanwhile, Shadow Hunter and Grunt's just going to go creep behind all of it. Blade Master going to get some auto attacks out onto the Lich. Frost Armor is here. Going to slow down the Blade Master. Going to be quite an inconvenience. And Deuce has to know, maybe going to see a Nova Coil there to steal the creep. Got it.
A player's forces are
And the item also went to Deuce as well. Blade Master going to retreat temporarily as the Shadow Hunter now up to level 2. With his Grunt Army going to leave the Tome of Agility for the Blade Master. Now the Bestiary War Mill combo coming again, much like Game 1 versus Fear. Going for the natural expo here. Falling quite a bit low. Chain heal going off, getting healed back up to where he needs to be. And Deuce moving on along as well, looking to get level 3 on his Death Knight. Get that level 2 Death Coil, which is just so potent. And Lich starting to get a little scary as well with the Mantle of Intelligence and Claws of Attack giving +8. Soon to have an orb on that Lich as well once this is finished. More Fiends in production and statues also on the way. Pretty standard undead army. Blade Master now looking for his undead opponent, while the Shadow Hunter going to get to level 3 with this creep camp. It's going to take level 2 Chain Heal. Take down the initial orange camp right next to the base. Moving on the Lightning Shield out from the battle. Tome of Strength going to be left behind for the Death Knight. It's now Blade Master potentially looking to get level 3 of his own. That level 2 Windwalk or that level 2 Critical Strike really starts to scale pretty scarily. Especially with the claws, circlets, and any other items you might get. The Gloves of Haste there for the Blade Master. Going to get some more auto attacks. Does get the level 2 Windwalk. Level 3 for the Death Knight. Now has that level 2 Coil. Or will have the level 2 Coil. Hasn't trained it yet. Lich right behind with Frost Armor and Frost Nova. Torn Chieftain now online. Orb of Lightning in stock. Might pass that on over to the Blade Master and maybe do some inventory swapping here.
Players' forces are under attack.
Bought a Potion of Invulnerability for the Shadow Hunter as well, getting those critical items. 43 food of Hitman to 47 of Deuce. And we might see one of our first real encounters of the game. Blade Master going right for the Obsidian statue in the back. Scroll of Speed popped. Torn Chieftain looking to get into a nice position to get some War Stomp out onto those Fiends. Does get into the back of the army, gets a War Stomp on some of the back line, not all of it. And a nice Crypt Fiend devoured by the Kodo Beast. Getting focused down and nuked down by the undead army. 10 health left, and a nice Orb of Corruption auto attack from the Lich does secure the kill for King Deuce, as he does claim the Torrent Chieftain's life. Also, Dark Ranger now out on the field. Some silence going to be in play. Blade Master looking to come back and steal some more creeps. Does get the steal there. Dust is popped on the Blade Master, who is going to be revealed. And silence. Not going to be able to Windwalk out of this one. Needs to be careful. Getting nuked immediately with the Nova. Does pop the Invuln Pod. Death Coil onto the Fiend. Not without a chain heal from the Shadow Hunter himself. Hitman looking to move back and push Deuce's army into the back of the mercenary camp. Does claim both Crypt Fiends. Still digesting this Crypt Fiend from earlier. Kodo Beast trying to retreat. Might get nuked himself. Deuce would love that Crypt Fiend back. Does get the coil off. Fiend is returned to Deuce. One is hexed in the corner. Going to get that surrounded and killed as well. 40 food to 41 food of Deuce. Hitman moving on, just killing the back line of the Fiends. Blademaster just always able to get to the back of that army. Death Knight now out of mana. Does have a mana wand of mana stealing. Going to be able to steal some mana. Invuln pot popped onto the Shadow Hunter. Tauren Chieftain now back on the field. One War Stomp going to be online soon enough. 2 Clarity Potions. Maybe going to want to get one of those popped soon. As the 43 food army of Hitman does retreat. And Deuce going to be thinking about what's next. Where does he want to move on to? And potentially thinking about the red camp. First red camp of the game. Hitman knows this. He knows where his opponent wants to go. And a creep jack at this point would be so effective. Blademaster getting into Windwalk. Going to buy up the Potion of Invulnerability as well. And Deuce backed off. Not today. You do not want to get creep jacked at the red camp. And Deuce getting into position. Blademaster revealed himself, starting to get some auto attacks onto the Crypt Fiends yet again. Those Blademaster auto attacks so effective at getting those Crypt Fiends so low, but a Death Coil to stabilize. Raider going to fall immediately due to the focus fire of Deuce. Deuce TPing back. Blademaster trying to chip away at this Crypt Fiend and take it down, but it does get back home in time. But this also leaves the red camp potentially for Hitman to take. Hitman is going to go pull this with the Berserker. Bring it back into a safer position. Deuce knows he has to get back there and jack this creep right here, right now. Cannot let this big item go to Hitman. And maybe just going to let it go right back into their resting spot. And another battle underway. Tauren Chieftain does get silenced. Not going to be able to get off a War Stomp. Falls so low due to the Coil Nova and auto attack of the Undead. Gets retreated back. One Crypt Fiend falls to the Blademaster. Dust of Illusion popped. Dust of Appearance, sorry. Heal salve onto the Tauren Chieftain. Going to need to get the Tauren Chieftain healed up quickly. Blademaster back into Windwalk. Going to keep an eye on where Deuce is heading. Deuce, 47 food, does not want to waver, will not back down. Hitman going to head on back to the laboratory camp and take this down as well. Blademaster going to town on the statue, trying to get a nice 174 critical strike. Does pop the Invuln, is warped into Destroyer form. Orb of Lightning continuing to go to town on it. One Death Coil is all that's needed to get this Destroyer back to a stable health count, and there it is, right back up to 70% health, just like that. Bought another Potion of Invulnerability. Blademaster is revealed still, needs to be careful. With the Invuln pot still on cooldown, 20 seconds left. Has enough mana for another Windwalk. The rest of Hitman's army is joining him now. Shadowhunter, Tauren Chieftain, heroes looking so scary. Blademaster always targeting those statues. Is now the Orb of Corruption and all of the other focus fire going onto the Blademaster, who fell to 70% just so fast in snares. Now here going out onto the Fiends, hopefully to help the Blademaster lock in some of these kills. Blademaster chopping away at the Fiend in the back. Meanwhile, Undead Army retreating back slightly, getting into better position. Death Coil out onto the Fiend. Fiend retreating back into the back of the army. Blademaster turning his attention on over to the Destroyers. Destroyers falling quite quickly. 2 Raiders now fall. Deuce pushing forward. Now has his eyes set onto the Kodo Beast. Headhunter's in compromised position now. Headhunter's falling quickly. Spirit Walker also going to take some damage from the magic damage of the Destroyers. Destroyers dealing so much damage to the ethereal form of the Spirit Walkers. Now targeting the Kodo Beast, who has devoured a Crypt Fiend. Kodo Beast is going to be able to get out of here. And Blademaster still has his eyes set on this Destroyer, who is so weak. But again, Death Coil right on time, right where it needs to be. Dust of Appearance popped. Blademaster revealed. Blademaster continuing to chop away now at the Death Knight. Death Knight getting ensnared. Maybe a Tauren Chieftain War Stomp. There it is. Tauren Chieftain stomp onto the Death Knight, followed by Hex. Blademaster maybe going to be able to clean this up, and he does. Death Knight falls. Moving on now to the Lich. Lich with no healing from the Death Knight. Lich in a really bad position right now. GG called by Deuce as Hitman takes Game 1 on Amazonia. Really exciting Game 1 from Hitman and Deuce there. as we wait for game 2. Gonna wait for that game name. I'll update everything once we get it. Don't want to miss it. And what a game 1 from Hitman and Deuce. Back and forth, back and forth. Neither wanting to back down. Neither wanted to lose that game. At the end, it was Hitman who took game 1. And we're back in. And we're going to game 2. Hitman up 1-0 on Deuce in the best-of-3 series. My War 3 booster might have crashed. Hopefully we get it back online for game 2. And we're going to do game 2 on Autumn Leaves. And War 3 booster. Trying to connect to the server. Maybe something's down on booster's end. So we might be doing this game without booster, but going to game 2 regardless. So we got a score to settle. Try restarting it one more time here. Maybe we'll have some better luck. Oh no. Where's that War 3 booster Discord? Where are you? Thought I was in it. Maybe I'm not in it anymore. Oh, there it is. All right. Send a message to Pad. Maybe he gets it, maybe he doesn't. But we could do this without booster. We got Hitman. He's going Blade Master again. Meanwhile, Deuce not changing it up himself. Going Death Knight Fiends as well.
A town is under siege.
And Acolyte gonna chip away at one of the peons here. Just be a pain. Blade Master online now. Gonna make the Acolyte pay for being an annoyance. Gonna use one of those wind walks, take it down with ease. Head on, take this first creep camp. See what items come out first. Death Knight finally was able to get some surface area on that Berserker. Death Knight gonna get the Ring of Protection first. Blade Master also gonna get a ring of his own. And boosters up, baby. We're back. Right on time. Again, thanks to Pad for such an amazing overlay. What would we do without you and everything you've done for the community? Shoutouts.
A player's forces are under attack.
Gonna go for the second item here. Meanwhile, Deuce also going for the easier green camp in the route. Has plenty of skeletons to help him out creeping. Crypt Fiends coming out behind this. And Blade Master got a circlet for his troubles. Gonna see what's available from the Sasquatch as well. Got a Cloak of Shadows from this camp. And another circle for the Blade Master. Already up to +4 across the board. Really going to love to see that. Blade Master already starting to scale pretty scarily. Blademaster certainly looking. He's decided this is where he wants to go next. Tier 2, 65% done. About 55% done for Deuce. So Hitman a little bit ahead in the tech timing right now. More Fiends on the way for Deuce. Got a Potion of Greater Mana himself. Gonna really like that later game. Gonna have plenty of healing on this Death Knight. The Gauntlets of Ogre Strength going to the Blademaster. Might see that get sold or transferred to the Tauren Chieftain. We'll see. Depends on how long he wants to hang on to those. Might decide to go back and start disrupting some Acolytes since we haven't been able to find them yet. And certainly going to chip away at one of the Acolytes. The Rubian Tower is here, but is no match for the Windwalk of the Blademaster. And what a timing right now. Going to be able to reduce some of the gold income, but Tier 2 is online. Going to get those Acolytes trained up right away, those replacement Acolytes. And let's see how much disruption. 97.40 gold to 95.90 gold. It's about 150 gold. Disrupted right there. Just that little amount. It's about 150 gold. So just when you think you're not doing that much, just one Acolyte kill and the other one pulled off the mine. 150 gold right there, lost.
A player's forces are under attack.
Going to continue creeping up this mine in Autumn Leaves. Meanwhile, Deuce at the shop. Opted to sell a couple of the items he had. Going to try to get something nice from the Sasquatch here. Back at home base, going right up to Tier 3 again. Bestiary usually comes right around this time. And War Mill from Hitman. Haven't seen those come up yet. Did get another ring, looks like. And 2 rings. Rings all around. Lord of the Rings today. And here's the Bestiary War Mill, as expected from Hitman, as he so much likes to do. I'm going to take on this level 6 Direwolf, the Mercamp.
Player's forces are under attack.
And he's going to get a Health Stone. Very nice item there. Meanwhile, Deuce over here, Belt of Giant Strength. Not too bad for the Death Knight, but certainly some nice items to get there as well, and might be paid a visit by Deuce. Blademaster's got to be really careful here. One Coiled Nova away from death potentially, but Hex right on time. And maybe the Death Knight in some trouble. Got healed up immediately there. Blademaster now back up to his stability. 3 Fiends and Lich Death Knight gonna TP back home to safety. Does not want to take this fight right now. Troll Berserker purchased at the Mercamp to help out with the creeping efforts of Hitman. While back home, gonna see a Kodo Beast Raiders maybe coming out shortly. Level 2, onto the Shadow Hunter, now has Heal and Hex. Shadow Hunter continuing to be deadlier and deadlier of a support hero as the mid-game rolls on. Deuce continuing creeping on out the bottom of the map here. Meanwhile, back home, Temple the Damned up and coming. Maybe some Banshees. And some statues as well. Gonna pull that Death Knight back, soak all the XP for the Lich and the Lich alone. Same idea here, as Hitman loves to do. Grunt's Shadow Hunter creep route. Blademaster, go disrupt the opponent. No dust for the undead right now, so Blademaster is going to just chip away at this Crypt Fiend in the back here. And might get the kill. Crypt Fiend going to be moved out with Frost Armor as well. Going to slow down that Blademaster. Frost Armor effect now off of that, and very nice movement by Deuce there. Frost Armor back away. Really going to prevent the Blademaster from chasing them down and securing any of the kills. And the Lich is going to do the same to himself. Going to enable all the units to start kiting this Blademaster here. Death Coil right here. Probably has the Lich's name on it. Does secure the kill. Claims the tome and the item. And needs to be careful. Death Knight saving that Death Coil for whatever the Blademaster targets first. Blademaster about to reveal himself. Does snipe the creep. 1 or 2 auto attacks onto the Blade Master. Going to be pushed away, but the Wand of Mana Stealing going to go to Deuce's Death Knight. Meanwhile, Hitman creeping on the left side of the map. Torn Chieftain out again. Same with the Kodo Beast. Also online. Much like Game 1. Kodo Beast, Raider or 2. War Drum upgrade has started.
A player's forces are under attack.
Currently food block King Deuce finishing up that Ziggurat so he can get past 39 food. Deuce has shown up at the most opportune time, gonna prevent the finishing of this creep camp from Hitman. Hitman in Windwalk, gonna buy Potion of Invulnerability at the shop. Gonna steal that creep camp as well, take the Tome of Agility. Gonna certainly help the Blade Master. More armor, more attack, damage, attack speed. All good things. Deuce wants to push back this army of Hitman. 48 food, now 49 food. Battle's begun, going to work onto the Crypt Fiend. A coil onto the Crypt Fiend immediately, and the Death Knight does still have that Potion of Greater Mana, but Death Coil on cooldown. Blade Master able to secure one of the kills. Targeting one of the illusion he probably knows by now, based on how much damage it took. Was going to take this out of position. Fiend in the back, going to secure that kill. Meanwhile, Deuce chasing Hitman's army back. Kodo not able to devour any of the Fiends that battle and might be taken down himself. Deuce trying to get Coil Nova onto the Kodo Beast. Kodo is going to fall. Nice kill there from Deuce. Blade Master now shifting his focus onto the caster army of Deuce. One Banshee does fall. Torn Chieftain is surrounded by the Diamond Surround. Help with the Grunt of his own helping. Grunt moving out of the way, letting the Torn Chieftain out. Death Coil onto the Fiend. Another heal wave on to the Torn Chieftain, helping getting it stable. Blade Master chopping away onto the Fiend's 38 food. Now for King Deuce. Deuce needs to be really careful here. Doesn't want to overextend. Lich is ensnared. Maybe a coil rate for it, but not in time. Deuce calls GG. Hitman takes the series 2-0 and moves to the semifinals.